Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Corki updated complete guide. So today we're going to be talking about First Strike Corki, but as usual don't forget to take a look at the basic guide that I linked up in the cards above for Corki skills, leveling order, tips and tricks, as well as combos. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to discuss is Corki's boots. So Corki is a little bit like Ezreal. You kind of have two options. You have the Boots of Mana option, which basically gives you 8 magic pen together with ability power as well as mana regeneration, and you of course also have the Ionian Boots of Lucidity, which of course gives you a lot of ability haste. Technically speaking, you could also go for Gluttonous Greaves or Berserker Greaves, but I just don't think that they're as good. And on Corki, I do think that the Boots of Mana is way better, because Corki, even with Mana Mune, consumes a lot of mana, and as such, I do think that having the extra mana regeneration on Corki is really helpful to allow you to never run out of mana, and not never, but it's really difficult to run out of mana, and you basically are able to cast spells non-stop. So onto the rest of the build. Sheen, of course, for the mana as well as the on-hit damage on your auto attacks as well as your abilities like your ultimate and your Q. Sheen mainly for the Spellblade passive, which of course allows you to weave in auto attacks in between your spells, which you can prop very often because you have 6 charges of your ultimate. Riftmaker of course gives you the Omnivamp, a little bit more ability haste, as well as of course the Void Corruption passive for the true damage. And your last 2 item slots are very flexible. So if you want full on damage, Essence Weaver gives you more ability haste and gives you the Essence Flare passive to of course allow you to deal a bonus 22.5% damage on your abilities, which at this point should be doing a lot of damage, so this is going to be quite useful. Void Staff for the penetration. But some other options you have is you could technically go for items like Twin Guard, for example, for the tankiness. You could go for Shield Bow for the shield. You could also go Sterix Gauge for the shield. So a lot of options. Also, Slurry Charge Blade is a really good offensive option at the end as well, because it gives you attack speed, ability haste, as well as that Sunburst passive, which you can proc very often because, as I mentioned, you cast a lot of spells, especially because of your ultimate. Technically, IE is also an option. I've seen some people go for IE, but personally I don't really like it because you don't really have a lot of crit in your build anyways. So, onto the runes. Now, runes Corki First Strike is amazing because Corki is very long range on his ultimate, so he's basically going to be able to always proc his First Strike, and because of that, you're basically going to always more or less be able to get that First Strike goal, and it's not going to be very easy to remove your First Strike. Then for the rest of the runes, we have Brutal, because Corki still auto attacks a lot, so Brutal is still really helpful. We of course also have Coup de Grace, of course for the bonus damage when the champions are low. You can also go for Giant Slayer in this slot. Bloodline for the Omnivamp, and finally we have Bone Plating, which I still of course think is very good because of the lane power, as well as in late game prevents you from getting bursted by an assassin, hopefully. And then for the spells, Exhaust and Flash. So without further ado, let's jump straight into our gameplay. Okay, so onto the gameplay. Now of course don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. With any questions, queries or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So as you guys can see, we're jumping into Legendary Ranked here, and this was the last day of the previous season, which is why we're in Legendary Ranked at the moment. Of course, in this season, Legendary Rank is yet to open. In case you guys are a little bit confused as to what I'm trying to say, it's because the patch 4.3 went live, and you still had 1 day to play Ranked and Legendary Ranked before the Ranked reset and the new season started. So this was the last day of Ranked, so I was playing Legendary Rank on that day. So you can see this is of course the new patch. I have First Strike, and I'm in Legendary Rank. So some people might be confused as to how am I playing Legendary Rank when it's not yet open. That's why. So anyways, here against a Seraphine who has Glacial, probably just trying out this new rune or something like that. Glacial is, in my opinion, not the best on Seraphine, but anyways, here we're playing Corki in the mid lane because we got autofilled to the mid lane, so no real choice there. Corki, of course, is also amazing in the ADC role. We've covered Corki in the ADC role many times. We've also covered Corki mid a couple of times over like the months and years that we've done this channel. But of course, as I mentioned, Corki is really good. for both roles. And the reason why I like to play Corki mid is because I'm not the best at playing mid laners, at least not as good as ADCs. Like, I can play mid laners, I can play like, you know, the Orianas and such, but it's definitely not as good as I'm playing ADC. So why not play a champion that I can play, which is Corki, who also does magic damage. So here, using my priority, I'm able to go onto the roam to try to help out with killing the Nunu. We don't kill the Nunu, but we force him off the Skull Crab, so I at least managed to secure my Kayn the Skull Crab. Now, in the meantime, I expected Seraphine to follow, but Seraphine apparently roamed somewhere else. I have no idea where she went. I thought she might have been going bot because you can see that Sion and Pantheon are fighting, and they're both really low, but I think she might have backed or something. But you can see here in the replay that she apparently used her flash, which of course we couldn't see in the gameplay itself. So at this point in the game, we don't really know that she doesn't have flash. So I'm not sure where exactly she flashed, but anyways, you know, not too complicated. Me and Seraphine in the lane, there's not much we can do to each other. Mostly we're just poking each other out, securing CS, and then backing and getting items, and then roaming, things like that. And the place where we can both really have a huge impact is in teamfight. Seraphine with her ultimate, Corki with, of course, the package. So lane is not very complicated for us. All we want to do is we want to farm and we want to poke. And of course try to prevent the enemy from farming if we can. So here Nunu is around the area putting pressure onto me, so I can't step up too far. I'm just staying under tower and clearing the minions. I'm pinging retreat there because I did see Nunu going top. So I did suspect Nunu was going in for a gank, and there he is. He is, of course, in for the gank. Seraphine turned out to have roamed as well, which is a little bit unlucky for me. I have two options here. Number one, trying to make it to the top fight, and number two, trying to get minions and plates in mid. Now, I wasn't sure how long the fight's gonna last. Turns out it didn't last that long, so I decided to stay mid and try to get plates instead. Now, I don't even manage to actually get one plate because tower is pretty tanky. Unfortunately, no plate for me. But we do manage to secure like a wave in peace. Now, Nunu is now coming mid, so I have to be cautious about the fact that Nunu might be here. And, you know, we're just trying to poke him out, get a little bit of first strike goal, and, you know, just chunk him out a little bit. Not too much else that we can do. Now, Seraphine's back in the lane. Now, you're gonna see this happen a lot, but for some reason, this Senna keeps on roaming mid and keeps trying to take my CS. I'm not exactly sure why, because, as we all know, Senna doesn't want to take CS because she's not going to be able to stack her passive. But this Senna seems, you know, seems hell-bent on like just roaming around and taking CS, which is really, really weird. But anyways, there's not too much we can do about that except try to fight her for our own CS, which is, yeah, which is like, you know, it's of course solo queue, so things like this happen, you know, all the time. Not too much we can do, it's out of our control. All we can do is to play our part in, of course, playing our lane, playing our role. And here, what we're doing is we're just farming up, waiting for the first dragon or herald. Of course, that's going to come up in about half a minute. Package is already ready in base. And our main plan is to clear this wave, and then we can back and pick up the package to set up for the dragon. So here, wave cleared, we're going to back, pick up the package, and head back out. Okay, so here we have the package, and we're gonna head over to the dragon. You can see Kayn is already in the dragon area, so I'm pinging that I'm on my way to the dragon. And here I'm trying to look for a good package. You can see Seraphine is now in the top side, roaming together with her team. I spotted an opportunity to catch 3 people with the package, which I do, but I put myself in a pretty bad position. I get bubbled by the Nami, and unfortunately because of that, I do end up getting killed by the Nunu. Now, if I didn't get bubbled by Nami, then I think that would have been a decent play. 3 people cut off by the package, and I can just Valkyrie away and zone them away basically, and just get a little bit of free damage on. But unfortunately, things don't really go our way, and my whole team basically just ends up dying. The enemy team, of course, secures the dragon, and Senna, of course, goes ahead and secures the mid lane farm, which is, of course, really, really annoying. But once again, there's not too much we can do about that. So here, of course, now that we are in the lane, we're gonna just try to get the last hits. But you can see that Senna, you know, is just trying to steal the last hits from us for some reason. Even the cannon, which, of course, if you guys play Senna, you know that if you secure a cannon, you won't be getting the stack from the cannon, which is pretty bad. But yeah, once again, we can't really control. So here we got mid lane priority. We're gonna roam over to the Rift Herald to try to help out our team. Enemy team unfortunately secures the Rift Herald, but there looks like there is an ensuing fight. So here I'm trying to help my team out. We get a kill onto the Pantheon. We're on the chase for the Nunu, but Nunu is just going to scamper away. We are not able to pick up the kill on him before he runs. Of course, he is a pretty tanky fellow. He's going tank. He has 4 kills already, and he has a completed Sunfire Aegis. So here once again, we're gonna try to fight the Senna to try to secure our own farm. And once again, get a little bit of first strike goal from the Nunu himself. So I was trying to back here, but Nunu just puts down the Herald. Of course, it's going to be able to secure a large number of tower plates, but it's not going to secure the tower. So here you can see we can still try to defend the tower against the Rift Herald, which we are indeed able to do. However, the next wave is coming in, and with Pantheon ulting in, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Pantheon goes in on me, I exhaust him. Seraphine ult does end up missing, but because of the pressure of the Pantheon out, I'm actually unable to defend my tower any further. So unfortunately, we do have to end up conceding the mid lane tower. So no longer anything more, much more I can do. I'm gonna back and finish off my boots, as well as, of course, picking up the Sheen. Now, of course, it's pretty good to pick up the boots earlier on into the game because it's gonna help a lot with your mana problems. You can even go for it first before the mana mune if you really wanted to, but I just prefer to go for the mana mune first to get the mana mune charged a little bit quicker. So our next package is already available, but as you guys can see, I'm not going ahead to take it because I want to wait for an objective or a good opportunity to use it. You never want to take Corki's package off of cooldown. You always want to wait for an opportunity and then take it. So here, I spot Pantheon and Nunu recalling under the tower, and they're both really low. Now I want that Nunu shutdown, so he's 4-0 and 3, so I'm going to launch a rocket in the general direction. I managed to interrupt the backs. I'm trying to focus the Nunu here. Pantheon ends up actually getting killed by my E just by pure accident. But of course, we secure both kills. We get the shutdown on the Nunu as well. It's a 5-kill shutdown from the Nunu. So in my opinion, me dying for the shutdown on Nunu as well as a kill onto Pantheon is worth, in my opinion, because it gave me a lot of gold. You can see now I'm at almost 7k gold, so that's almost the same amount of gold as the fat Nunu. Now, of course, we also have a fat Kaisa, who's 7, 2, and 4. So my team is not doing too hot at the moment in terms of gold. Now, you can see that both teams' goal is actually the same, but you can see on my team, the goal is more or less evenly spread out. Like me, Senna, Jin, and Kayn all have roughly the same goal, whereas on the enemy team, it's concentrated on Nunu and Kaisa. And in my personal opinion, having concentrated goal is always better, because having one or two fat champions is better than having all the champions on like even footing. And the reason for that is because that 1 or 2 champions are able to carry their team, whereas if the goal is evenly spread, it's a lot more difficult. So here we managed to catch Nami and Kaisa, somewhat catch Nami and Kaisa, while I'm kind of getting caught myself. I have to flash away because Kaisa's auto is going to kill me if I get hit by one more auto attack. So here I'm going to just recall. Dragon is of course spawning, but the fight is, as you guys can see, already ensuing. So here I'm going to quickly pick up the package and see if we can possibly do anything to influence this fight. Now, of course, Senna is dying. Sion is on the opposite side of the map. It's only me and Jin, and I highly doubt I can do anything. Packaging in would be complete suicide because I can't steal the dragon. Or rather, I can, but it's really unlikely. So instead, Pantheon engages on me. I'm just going to package out. Once again, Seraphine out misses. And not too much that we can do here. Now here I'm just trying to launch spells to maybe randomly steal the dragon if I get lucky. Unfortunately, we do not get the dragon. Of course, really unlikely to steal against the Nunu. I exhaust the Nunu and we're able to actually pick up the kill onto the Nunu. And it turns out to be another shutdown. Now, somehow Nunu managed to get fed enough again to get another shutdown, get another bounty. But we end up securing another shutdown onto the Nunu. At this point, our mana mune has evolved into Mirror Mana. We've completed the Triforce. We're at 2 item power spikes, so we are going to be pretty strong now. So in the meanwhile, if you take a look at the enemy situation, Kaisa's also on 2 items, and Jin is going to be able to complete the items if he actually backs. So we are kind of even in terms of the power level with the Kaisa. Now Kaisa, I believe, can get more items if she backs as well, but I'm only 400 gold behind the Kaisa. So we are keeping ourselves competitive and trying to be that carry for our team. Of course, our actual ADC Jhin is doing really well as well. So that is, of course, good news. So here in my downtime, I'm just going to quickly farm the Grom. Huge wave in the top, so I'm just going to go ahead and clear this top wave. And the next objective spawning is Baron in 30 seconds. So of course, the golden rule of Baron is you never want to be spotted on the opposite side of the map for Baron. Now here, my team gets into a huge fight with the enemy team when I'm not around. So I recall and try to get back out of base and try to join the fight. The fight is still going on, it's pretty extended. Here, I dash in and get the damage onto the Seraphine. Sion secures the kill, and Nunu is our next target. We managed to get the Nunu. Now a beautiful bubble by Nami stops me and Sion from chasing Nami as well as the Seraphine. Now here we're in a 3v3 mid. So here I'm just trying to throw pot shots with my ult at the enemy team, trying to land whatever damage I can. Kai'Sa is of course extremely fed, and getting caught would basically mean getting assassinated by Kai'Sa. She still has her ult, her flash, everything. So we don't want to mess around when we're on low health. So we're just going to go ahead and go back and just go ahead restore our health and mana, as well as just pick up some item components while we're at it. So I've also completed the stasis. Of course, stasis is really good on Corki because when you package in, you can pop the stasis. Here I'm trying to catch out the Kai'Sa, but Kai'Sa's a little bit too fast for me to catch. Nunu tries to come in, Pantheon coming in as well. Here I'm going to flash away to prevent Pantheon from engaging on me, and I exhaust him. I basically end up saving the Jin's life with that exhaust right there. Nunu tries to ult, I'm going to dash out of his ult range. I'm here just trying to DPS whoever I can. Kai'Sa gets caught, but unfortunately is able to flash away. Nunu gets caught. Kai'Sa is really low, but unfortunately she's able to just zoom away. Jhin trying to snipe down the Kai'Sa does end up getting the kill, and here we're chasing the Nami. And Nami's like 1 HP, but we get caught by the Seraphine ult and we die to the Seraphine. I cannot believe that we didn't kill the Nami there, but Nami does end up dying to Kayn. And Jhin finishes off the final kill onto the Seraphine, and my team gets an ace. So overall, 2 for 5, it is a good deal. Me and Jhin, of course, now getting very fed. I'm on nearly 11k gold, Jhin is over 11k gold, and meanwhile, Kai'Sa has just hit 11k gold, and Nunu is 10k gold. So this match is slowly becoming me and Jhin versus Kai'Sa and Nunu, who can carry harder. And of course, the rest of the cast is of course still there and still has utility, still has support, but it's becoming a very competitive match in terms of the carries of both teams. So here, Dragon's coming up in 40 seconds. Of course, my package is ready in base, but as I mentioned, I'm going to of course wait for when Dragon spawns, or like when Dragon's about to spawn. Then I'm going to pick up my package and head over to the area. In the meanwhile, I'm just going to farm up the jungle because the waves are not really close to us, so it's a little bit difficult to farm without putting ourselves at risk. So now Dragon's 20 seconds from spawning. We're going to back, we're going to pick up the package, and we're going to head over to the Dragon, where no doubt the next fight is going to be at. Alright, so here I'm just launching my ult because I'm trying to charge up to the big one, and I do have the big one now. I'm ready to launch it into the enemies. Now here I get a relatively good package to split up the enemy team, pop my stasis to prevent myself from taking damage, and I'm going to just start blasting people, blasting away. Kai'Sa, gets a kill. Kai'Sa is really strong at this point. Here I'm just staying in the back line and trying to blast wherever I can. Kai'Sa picks up a triple, unfortunately. Goes into Senna and picks up a quadra. Now here, I end up launching a ulti onto the Nami instead of the Kai'Sa, which allows her to pick up the pentakill, and that is just a complete disaster for our team. So Kai'Sa, with that pentakill, shoots over to 14k gold, which is now 1k more than the Jhin, and it's like 2k more than me. So Kai'Sa is incredibly fed, really difficult for my team to deal with, and it's a really competitive, really exciting match. I mean, you can see just based on the length of this video that this is going to be a really long match with multiple Barons and multiple Elder Dragons. Okay, so here we've completed our Rift Maker. So our 3 item power spike. 3 items is in my opinion, where Corki is like really strong. These three are the core Corki items, and the rest, as I mentioned in the build section of the video, is really flexible in terms of what you want to build. A lot of personal preference involved when it comes to that. But here another fight breaks out. So here I'm just blasting whoever I can. In this case, it's mostly the Pantheon. Unfortunately, Senna and Jin both end up dying, so it's a 5v3 at the moment, and we are in deep trouble. Sion gets engaged upon, not too important here. I'm just laying Sion tank, and I'm basically just shooting for free hitting from the backline. You can see I'm doing pretty huge damage onto Nami. Here, Nunu tries to go in, Pantheon tries to go in as well. Here you can see I'm just blasting them. Both of them are now really low, but unfortunately we can't finish off the kills. Sion ends up dying. And it's becoming kind of a disaster. The enemy team is forcing themselves onto our inhibitor, and they do end up securing the inhibitor. Now here I can't really fight the Kai'Sa, so I'm not really going to go all in on her, because she's gonna win an all in, because obviously she's like 4 full items including a Wit's End, which is of course really effective against Corki. So here you can see the enemy team is doing Baron. So here my whole team is trying to respond. Jin pops the ult, and I'm just blasting them from over the wall. Somehow Kayn steals the Baron against a Nunu. I'm not sure how that exactly happened. But either way, our team looks like it's losing the fight. I get hit by a bubble. I'm gonna flash the wall. Kayn dies to Kai'Sa ult. Kai'Sa just auto attacks me once, dies, and I die as well. Jin and Kai'Sa both pick up a triple kill, and now it just becomes ADC versus ADC. Nunu tries to back, but Jin is now on the chase. Kai'Sa ends up dying to Jin, so Jin does end up kind of quote-unquote winning that battle. And now only Jin and Sion are left alive versus a Nunu. Unfortunately, because our mid lane inhibitor is down, there's a lot of pressure from the super minions in the mid wave, and Sion has to clear those minions. Elo Dragon is of course now up, so that's going to be the site of our next fight. Package is up and available for us. And Nunu is in the general area, but of course he's alone. His team is all dead and only now just respawning. So here, honestly, I was trying to ping them back because I knew Pantheon was going to ult, because obviously Pantheon is going to respawn. But they do actually manage to escape and not end up getting picked off, which is really crucial for the upcoming Elder Dragon fight. Of course, I have my package in tow. Rotated to the Elder Dragon, and we're going to see what we can do about the situation. Now, Jin is kind of clearing away, so they can see him, of course, clearing the way. They know he's not like right with us. Both teams are just trying to posture for position. I'm dodging the Nami ultimate. I end up getting a package in between everyone. Stasis again. We have 3 people standing on my package. Here I'm just trying to burst down whoever I can. I get the Pantheon, and I almost get the Seraphine. There we go. I got the Seraphine now, but unfortunately once again I died to Kai'Sa. Now Kai'Sa's 1 HP. Kai'Sa ends up dying to the Jin, and now it's Jin and Sion versus Seraphine and Nami. Of course, we know that Seraphine and Nami are not the 2 fed carries on the enemy team, so we still have Jin alive, so we should win the fight, and we do. Jin secures another triple kill, and we end up, both Jin and Sion end up living. So now, once again, the mid lane is a problem, so Sion has to recall to clear our mid lane. Huge CS, huge farm, of course, for the Sion here. Now, Jin is in the meanwhile pushing down bot. And of course, since the entire enemy team is dead and Jin can't get the Elder Dragon by himself, the best move is to get an inhibitor. So now here with this inhibitor, it's going to put a lot of pressure on their top lane, which is going to make taking Baron a lot easier, because Baron's on the opposite side of the map. However, for now, Baron is not alive, whereas Elder Dragon is. So, round 2 of the Elder Dragon fight is going to begin. Both teams have respawned, and of course, both teams going to go for the Elder Dragon again. So here I've completed my Essence Reaver. I decided to go, of course, for the build I showed you guys at the start, the one with more damage, with the Essence Reaver and with the Void Staff. So here I got the Essence Reaver. I'm just waiting in the general area, tossing out my rockets to just check around the area. And the enemy team for now has control of the area. You can see that Nunu kind of trolls. He goes to the mid lane. Pantheon's not with his team. So here, my whole team's trying to find a pick onto Nunu so we can secure the Elder Dragon. In the meantime, his team kind of walks towards us, so we end up getting a pick onto the Nami instead. Pantheon comes in, and here we're just trying to focus the Nunu and the Pantheon, particularly the Nunu. We're trying to get the kill onto him. We are able to get the kill onto him. Kai'Sa gets rooted, and the moment she gets rooted, she's basically dead. So we secure the kill onto the Kai'Sa. However, once again, Sion has to back to defend the mid wave. And here I'm going to pick up the fruit, and me and Jin are going to 2-man the Elder Dragon. Now, the only main issue here is that Pantheon is alive, and a Pantheon Spear could steal this Elder Dragon. So, with Jin, he needs to try to 4th shot the Elder Dragon to secure it, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Or will it? Okay, he does end up doing it, but it was a bit low, so it was a little bit dangerous, but we do secure the Elder Dragon, and using the Elder Dragon, I can hop over the wall and secure the kill onto the Pantheon. Now, getting this kill onto Pantheon is really important. The reason is because his whole team is now just spawning and he just died. So this desyncs his death timer with his team. Means that his team is going to be at a numbers disadvantage. And now with Elder Dragon, we're able to basically just go to Baron, spam ping the Kayn to come and help us because he's on the wrong side of the map. And Kayn is of course here. Now, as I mentioned, if you take a look at top wave, now top wave is completely pushed in because of the fact they don't have an inhibitor. Here I'm going in on the Nunu. My team gets chain CC'd by the Seraphine. We're trying to secure the Baron before Nunu can get anywhere near. We do secure the Baron and we have the Elder Dragon. So here just gonna launch our ulti and this should kill multiple people. We already get a kill onto Seraphine with the help of Elder. We get a kill onto Nunu as well. Flashing after the Kai'Sa. We're able to secure a kill on Kai'Sa as well. And basically that's game. So once again, with the desync death timers, Pantheon has only just respawned. But what can Pantheon do against the 4 of us? So here Pantheon, no idea where he's going. The game's won, so I'm just going to go ahead and secure a free extra kill onto Pantheon. Just for the KDA, just for the stats. And with that, we're able to end the game. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.